What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very important warning involving Nvidia and Donald Trump. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. Anyways, as far as the market's going, we got this very, very nice rally to start things off. The market pumped very nicely in the morning, but then we got this rug pull. This rug pull happened as soon as Donald Trump made some big announcements. He said that, and these are some of his quotes, that he's making a decision on EU tariffs at 25%. He said that the details on the EU tariffs are coming very, very soon. The EU can try to retaliate on tariffs, but he is planning 25% tariffs on autos and other things. Besides that, he was talking about making a deal with Russia and Ukraine. And then he went on about how the US is going to be investing in China. China won't be able to take advantage of the US despite that. Our relationship with China is very, very good. And then he said tariffs will go on, not all, but a lot of them. He's not stopping the tariffs overall. They're going to be increasing very soon. So that's what Donald Trump said. Those are his quotes. And that's what caused the market to dip a bit. Despite that, let me just say that we have another big catalyst. It's going to be Nvidia's earnings call. Their earnings data comes out at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once this data comes out, don't panic if we see an upside move or downside move. That's not the full real move. The real move comes during the earnings call, which starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we have the report coming out at 4:20 p.m. and then at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when we end up having our conference call. That's going to be very important. We have to listen to see what Jensen Huang has to say about their guidance and their products, and that's going to be very big. Now, for those who are confused about SPY, just know this: we're fine. We had this falling wedge, okay? We broke out of it, and I mentioned to you all, I would like to see a back test. I said that in my morning video, we actually pumped instead, so I wasn't sure if that was going to happen. But then we came back down, but we haven't invalidated this wedge. That's the thing you have to remember. The wedge is still valid. Why is that? Because this is just a back test, right? This is just a back test right here. You could get a back test like this before you try to break out, for example. That sometimes happens. So at this point on, if you're holding anything overnight, please be careful, be very patient, and please be very, very mindful of how things are going. SPY is only down 0.02% right now, guys, so just relax. It's not really that bad. So if we get a good report from Nvidia, I think SPY goes back to the 600s. If not, if Nvidia gives us the rug pull, I think we dump below 590. If that fails us, we're looking for a dump to about 585. Right now, we're holding up well. This chart has potential. The wedge is still valid, has not been invalidated. So we'll see if we get a breakout from here. This is just a back test of the wedge. Overall, we're actually trying to get back to green right now, so we'll see how it goes. Keep that in mind, guys. The QQQ, same thing. Falling wedge, back test. We have not invalidated the wedge. We're still holding this, and we're actually back in the green. So that's a promising sign. I want to see this break 518 to get back up to about 520. And eventually 525 plus is coming. If not, if Nvidia does poorly, we're looking for a rug pull all the way back down to 506, then the low 500s. So we'll see how that goes. The Russell 2000 is also in a critical place. We had a falling wedge. Nice little back test. If we could get back above 218.8, I'm looking for a big push. There's a possible inverse head and shoulders forming now, so that's a good sign. There is life on this. Let me just double check. I didn't really see this on SPY or the QQQ either, but it's okay. This could be like an inverse head and shoulders, maybe. I'm not 100% convinced about that, though. ES got a nice back test of this trend line. We're still holding up. I need to see this get back above 6,000 for this thing to really bounce. A little bit lackluster, but we'll see how it goes. As long as we don't lose 59.50, we're going to be okay. And then it all depends on Nvidia. Will we get launched back to the 6,000s, or do we get a big sell-off below 5,900? It all depends on Nvidia from this point. Same thing with NQ. Do we lose 21,000 to turn bearish? We haven't lost key support yet. Or do we get a big bounce here forming a double bottom? We'll have to see. Bitcoin's a little lackluster, just trying to bounce now. Let's see if we could reclaim 85,000. Nvidia has an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder. Anything can happen with earnings. We need to see this thing break out with the inverse head and shoulders for us to remain bullish. If we lose 126, we turn back down, so we'll give this some time. It all depends on their earnings and their conference call, so get ready for what's about to come. It could drag the market either way, so make sure you guys are ready. For Tesla, looking very lackluster. I do think Tesla's going to fill our gap down to 250, so this is where the gap is right here. But before that happens, we might see a rebound, maybe with Nvidia's earnings. That's a possibility. If Nvidia causes us to rebound a bit, it could try to bounce a bit before it starts to dump to fill the gap. Or if it fails, we could just fill the gap from here to about 250. So either way, Tesla's bearish, whether we bounce first and then dump, or if we just dump from here. I think we will eventually fill the gap. For Apple, we touched our support at 238, so now we're getting bought back up here. So we'll have to see how it goes from here if we could get bought back up, especially if we have an inverse head and shoulders. For other pieces of news, we have Coin. Coin is actually a little bit weak. We have to see if 210 holds. If it holds, we're looking for a bounce. For Amazon, we have an inverse head and shoulders. We have to see if it could reclaim 215. If so, we're looking for 217 and 220. For Meta, we have an inverse head and shoulders as well. We have to see if we could get back above 680 to push for 690. Overall, we're holding up well. Microsoft has a falling wedge. We're trying to break out of this. If this holds, we could be looking for a rebound. So we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. And then Google, looking a bit more bearish. We'll have to see if it can hold 174 or not. So be very, very patient. One more thing. We have a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder on the VIX. Is this about to collapse or is this about to rally? It all depends on Nvidia's earnings. So, we could go either way. I'm just here to give you guys the heads up. If you're holding anything overnight, be careful. Heed my warning. I don't really like to gamble, so I'm not playing too much. So please keep that in mind, guys. I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll be back with another upload after Nvidia's earnings comes out, after the earnings call. So you'll have to wait a couple of hours for me to return, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic. Let's see how it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic, if anything, and we'll be very patient. Thank you for listening, and peace out.